What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers Weekly Tech Podcast. This is episode 212, and this episode is brought to you by Amazon. If you go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something, that gives us a little kickback and, of course, helps the podcast keep on going. With me is my co-host, Ryan. What is up, Ryan?
Same old stuff. It's already Wednesday again. These weeks just fly by.
I know. That's like crazy. A good thing, though, I feel, because it's like...
Yeah.
Where, like summertime, you kind of want it to slow down, at least for me, you want like the summertime to slow down. But, as we, what did you call it? I guess it's still winter technically, right? March?
Yeah. I don't think we're officially in spring yet, but the weather here has been awesome. So, it's been cool for a while. And it's crazy the temperature differences, obviously, between like the basement and upstairs. I'm wearing a hoodie down here, but upstairs, I'm like, oh. So
the thing is, that's weird is like today it got warm, so I was like, I could go outside kind of in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But then like I just went outside to take the dog out and it was like freezing. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we're not there yet.
No.
But yeah, let's jump into news this week and our reviews. We'll start with our reviews this week. And the first thing we'll talk about is still sitting in front of me. I'm actually using it currently. It is the Thermaltake Level 20 RGB titanium gaming keyboard. The titanium just is the color or the top plate color. They have a black one, and this one's called titanium. But this is their full-size gaming keyboard. And Jim said, "Yeah, weather talk." I do notice. I don't know if it's Jim.
So this is.
I'm pretty sure it's Jim. Jim, I don't know if he has it on Twitter, like it's just part of his thing, but he always talks about the weather on his Twitter.
Yep, and that's usually how they start off their podcast. Like they'll do some intros, and then they're like talking weather.
Talk about the weather, man. What else are we going to talk about?
That's right.
That's kind of what's going on. I mean, and the thing, I feel weather directly affects your mood and how you feel, at least for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And Joe is in the house. What's up, Joe? He's here as well. But getting back to this keyboard, which I'm surprised that I'm still using it just for the fact that it is a full-size keyboard. Yep. And if you've been following our reviews of this podcast for any amount of time, I'm not a fan of the full-size keyboard. But this keyboard is actually pretty interesting in the fact that its design is just a little different from your other full-size keyboards in the fact that you have this sort of like, it's kind of separated. You have this kind of, right? Yeah, you have this sort of cutout here, and then this is a light bar here. And it just makes it a little different. It makes it a little cool. I'll actually go to the light.
So I do like I'm not kind of like you, right? I'm so used to this 10 keyless keyboard that the full size just like drive me nuts, and especially the bezel size on this. But I do like that it's not just a flat like top and edges around there. It almost looks like it's kind of like curved and
and the
slopes down a little, which I can at least accept a bit.
The thing I noticed about this too is that I don't need a wrist rest with this. I don't.
Okay.
So I don't know if that design has something to do with it, but I don't see like myself needing a wrist rest with this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as Ryan said, it's full keyboard. You have full complement of keys as well as your full number pad. And then you have full multimedia control with the volume wheel and everything like that, and some other lighting buttons and gaming mode and Windows lock key button and things like that. The keyboard itself is solid. Like, what was that movie? I think we've talked about this before. What's the movie where he hits the guy in the face with the keyboard?
I don't know.
It has Angelina Jolie in it.
Now, is that a metal top or is it like
yeah, that's what I was saying. So
okay.
This is like a keyboard that if you like hit somebody with this, like
do some damage.
Yeah, do some damage. So it's full aluminum top plate there. It is in this titanium color, which I actually really like. And then under that, you have Cherry MX switches. I have the blue version, which I love. I love Cherry MX blues for the sound they make, for the way they feel. And at least in my opinion, Cherry MX feel different than your Gaterons, your Kales. It's just something about them. They feel different. They feel better, in my opinion. Obviously, that's up for debate because I know a lot of people use different mechanical key switches. But for me, Cherry MX is like the gold standard, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see it here. Again, they offer it in the blue, in the speed switch, which is the Cherry MX's newer switch. They also offer it in razor green. We've seen this with a few keyboards, like they'll offer it with a Razer switch, which I really do like Razer Green as well. If you've never used it,
I haven't ever used them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid of, I would say, blues and I don't even know what it's like a blue, but it's not a blue. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
So is it like a brown, maybe like a cherry brown?
No, it's clickier. It's like the actuation is not as, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But in any case, the other features of this keyboard that you're going to get is you're going to get a USB pass-through and audio pass-through, which is kind of standard on a lot of these keyboards. USB pass-through is great for flash drive. It's great for plugging your mouse in. You know, if you have a USB headset, and then obviously the audio pass-through is great just for like a headset if you're using a stereo headset. The keyboard by itself is angled, but then you can obviously use it at a higher angle to pop out feet. And then one thing that there was no cable like organization, if you
like
want
the routing.
Yeah, which I don't think it's a big deal considering how big this cable is. Like it's thick because you need it for, you know, you're connecting 3 things, not just one.
Yep.
I don't see that as being a big deal. And then we go to the lighting, and that's the thing that really makes this keyboard shine, is the lighting. So yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. So you have full RGB per key, RGB backlighting. As I said, you have this separation here, which lights up, which is pretty cool. The Thermaltake logo or the TT logo here lights up. You know, as you can see, that is pretty awesome looking. Yeah. And then around the entire keyboard is another light bar that lights up as well. So this is going to look great on your desk. It's look great at a LAN party. It's all per key. I think this actual top bar has 18 different zones in it too, so that you can set all that by yourself.
They're addressable. Like
everything. Okay. If you go into the software, you can see how these are all like sectioned off.
Yep.
You can select those all. The software is called iTake. I believe that's what it's called.
That's new from them, isn't it? It's not the same as what they've used in the past.
I haven't reviewed a Thermaltake gaming product in
I looked at one
3 years.
A couple years ago, yeah, and I don't think it was named the same, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But this is my first time using the software. The software is good. It's not great. That's what we say about a lot of these, but it's not bad. It allows you to, you know, you're going to have full keyboard customization. You can click on any key and remap it. So you have like switching it to another key. You can create macros. You can have a media function. You can do one of the function keys. You can launch an application or switch different profiles. So I think it's pretty, you know, you can pretty much reprogram and do kind of whatever you want. As far as the RGB lighting, like all the different effects, you have a bunch of effects that you can choose from. They're all right here. And you can, you know, change the speed and brightness and everything that you would kind of expect. It's all done in the software. It's very easy. The one cool thing about the iTake software is that there's a mobile app. And it's kind of, I wouldn't say a lot of people would use it, but it's kind of cool. Just for the fact that, like, you know, you can change profiles and do things with your phone. This is some of the screenshots. Like, it's really easy to set up. I mean, it just works. You download the app, you find your computer, you know, you can, this is like me changing the lighting. You know, I can actually type on my computer using my phone if I wanted, which is kind of cool. And then you actually get this virtual controller. So if you wanted to see what a game was like playing on a controller, you can kind of do it with your phone. I don't know. It's a cool functionality. Obviously, it's not like a selling point of this keyboard, but it's there, which is kind of cool. And I really like this keyboard. Like, it's totally solid, no flex, Cherry MX switches, great RGB. You have the addition of the USB pass-through, audio pass-through. You have dedicated multimedia controls, which is great. There's really not a single thing I found wrong with this. Like, nothing. Pricing is $149 or $139.99, which is competitive with, say, like the Corsair, not the new one, because the new one's $199, but the RGB Platinum, not the XT. It's competitive with that, which sells for $149. And they both use Cherry MX switches. So I really like this. Different design too. I like the I like the color, I like the RGB lighting, I like the feel of the keyboard. Hence why I'm still using it. Because if I'm typically if I don't like a keyboard, once I'm done reviewing it, like it's instantly off my desk. And yeah, so this was not. So like I said, I gave it a 10 out of 10 and a recommended award. So if you're looking for a full size keyboard, this is definitely one that I would recommend. It's just that good. I can't say anything, anything bad about it, or if there's anything wrong with it, there's not. So
that movie where the guy gets slapped with the keyboard, is that Wanted?
Yes, that is it.
All right.
Yeah. Because his supposed friend and roommate is having relations with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
At the time. So yeah. But the other product that we took a look at this week was one that kind of like brought me back into like, I don't know, my early days of computer building and things like that, where you kind of needed a fan hub. And the reason back in the day you needed a fan hub is because your motherboard didn't have any fan connections on it at all. And you needed a fan hub. And we all remember those fan hubs that went in like a 5 1/4 inch drive bay. And that was like, they were really cool. They looked cool. They lit up, you had
dials and they glowed, or like you'd have those slider switches for each individual fan. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say like fan hubs are dead, but that version of a fan hub, like going in a drive bay, most of these cases, especially like all these name brand cases, don't have 5 1/4 inch drive bays. That whole look is kind of gone. Everybody likes these nice flat panels. You know what I mean? But one of the big companies that used to make those was called Lamptron, and they have this new product which kind of solves the whole thing of like the space between my graphics card and the bottom part of my case.
Yep. Just
for the fact that not many people are doing multi-graphics. The only other thing you're putting there is an audio card, and I think that's few and far between because onboard audio is pretty good.
Yeah.
And so many people are using USB headsets that they're not really using a dedicated audio card either. So you have this space, and I'm just like looking at my system now, and there's just space there.
And you've got all these tempered glass side panels. It's like the perfect spot to put a display. Yeah.
So this is their SM436. We have the Sync edition. I'll tell you what the difference is between editions here in a second. And it is a fan hub, but also an RGB hub. Mm-hmm. And the reason RGB hubs are important these days is because we have so many different RGB devices. Like, I'm trying to think. NZXT, mostly NZXT in here, but then I have my memory, which is G-Skill. Like all of these different RGB things that you're putting in your system, they might not be daisy chainable. They might not work together. You only have 1 or 2 RGB headers on your motherboard these days too. So you have all these devices that need to be connected to that, but they might not be able to. So that's where like a device like this would come in. So like the main brains of this controller is right here. And as you can see, we have our 4 PWM fan connections right here. And then you have 4 4-pin RGB headers, and you have 4 3-pin addressable RGB headers. So you can connect quite a lot of stuff to this. And the thing that makes this really cool is you have a display. So this display right here is made to mount below your graphics card in your case. So, you have that tempered glass window. You can look over and you can see, let me bring it up here. I'll bring up the what everything looks like when you have it there. But the whole idea is that actually I don't next page.
Somewhere around here.
Yeah, is that you have your fan speeds, you have your it comes with temperature probes, which I didn't mention. You have all your temperatures, you have your here's like your percentage, but you actually have your fan speeds. You can switch the fan speed to show voltages of your fans. It's pretty cool. And it's just like a cool little display, right? It's something just to add something cool to your case. And Lamptron kind of knows that nobody's using 5 1/4 inch drive bay, so why not use something like this, right?
Yep.
Overall, I think it's good for a fan controller. It comes with a remote, and the remote allows you to individually select each fan that's connected, change their speeds and things like that. There's an auto mode and all this different kind of stuff. So I think it works as a fan controller pretty well. But again, this is the Sync edition. So what that means is all the RGB devices that you connect to it, then you connect one cable that connects to your motherboard, and your motherboard software controls it.
Okay.
And that's fine. I don't see that as being a problem. But the thing that I see with it is that they sell two versions. One version that you can use the remote to change the RGB, and then another version we have that is basically just a hub, and then you connect it to your motherboard. Okay. And I just don't know why there's not a single version that allows me to do both.
Either one or both.
Yeah, or either or, right? So, if I don't like my motherboard's RGB software, I want to do everything through the controller, I can do it. Or, maybe I get a bunch of different devices and I'm like, oh, I'll just use my motherboard software now. I should be able to do that. I just think that's a little
and you wonder what keeps them from doing that. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
From my understanding, the normal version came out first, which did not have any connections to go directly to the PC for RGB control. So then they came out with the Sync version that added that. It would just be nice to have, again, like an either or, right? Like just to have the option to do it would be nice. But
so that controller you showed, with all the connections on it, that's not on the back side of this screen, correct?
No.
It's a separate piece, right?
It's a separate piece.
So where does that mount?
So
wherever you want, or
wherever you can put it. Basically, that was one of the downsides of this. Is that
is it a standard size, like a 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch, where it could fit in a drive bay or anything?
It has no mounting
I guess you have connections on the outside, so you're probably not gonna. Okay, so it's really just loose.
Yeah. So I used double-sided tape.
Okay.
Like I said, that's one of the downsides to this controller. Is that there's no mounting hardware at all. Even if they included double-sided, the thick double-sided tape, that a lot of companies, like these NZXT RGB controllers, they came with them. Yep. Just some double-sided tape, but the user has to figure that out. Another thing that's weird about this is that if you look at the power connections, you have SATA power and you have Molex.
Okay.
You need both for the unit to work. So why do I have two different power connections, especially Molex? I know Molex isn't dead, but it's pretty dead. Two SATA power connections would have been fine for me. I don't know why you have both.
Molex is dead to me, so that's good enough.
Yeah, Molex is very dead to me. I had to buy an adapter because even though I have power supplies here, I have no clue where those cables are. Yeah. It was easier for me to order them on Amazon for $9 for a pack of them than to go look through all my stuff. So that's an issue. Also, I don't know if this is true, but a lot of people say you can't ship batteries anymore from overseas, and this comes from overseas. There's no batteries for the remote, so you have to buy batteries as well. It's not a big deal, but I know that that's one of the issues. Another issue that I ran into is with installation. So on their website, there's no compatibility or anything listed, and I just assumed that I can install this, in my system, no problem. I used it with an MSI RX 5600 XT, and I installed it. It was kind of close fitting, but it worked, right? It looks like it works. But I turned my system on and my fan was grinding. And that's that was an issue. So if you have if you're in a normal ATX case with 7 slots, a mid tower, you are going to have issues with a 2.5 slot card or higher. You can see the difference. See how it kind of sits.
That's pretty common.
Yeah.
Right? That's not an uncommon size of card.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like with an actual 2-slot card. And then this is with the 2.5 slot card. So you can see the difference.
Yep.
So that's something I think they should make very clear on their website. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then again, there's nowhere to mount this. I basically mounted it almost to the back of my motherboard. It's just, there's just a lot of things wrong. The instructions are horrible, by the way, too. I know it's overseas and things get lost in translation, but I think for a product like this, I feel I'm very tech savvy. I've done this stuff before, and especially the remote, I just had to guess because the instructions
don't necessarily make sense, right?
No, it's just there's no instructions to tell me what to do. I had some issues where the display, it says that there's 3 different brightness levels, obviously 100%, 50%, and off. If I hit the brightness button, it just went on or off. There was no changing. Yeah, no in between. You know, they're like when I put it on auto, like there's a thing you can just put it on auto. It just turned off, and the display turned off as well. And I had to restart my system just to even get the display to turn back on. So I don't know what's up with that. Just some issues with this. I think it's cool. I think they're on the right track, but I just think it needs more functionality as far as if I want to be able to connect it to my system, or I want to use your controller and use the remote, you know, and just all the other issues that I mentioned. But like I said, it does look cool. I mean, that's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
In your system, you know what I mean? But it's just, you know, so like I believe I gave it a 7 out of 10. Just for like, it just has some issues. It's
functions, but needs some polishing, kind of sounds like maybe.
Yeah, it needs some polishing. It's like, I feel like it needs like a firmware update.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's $78.99, which I don't think is horrible for what you're getting. It's just, and it is kind of a hard sell at 4 fans, right?
Yeah, only 4 fans. That's kind of low.
Yeah, so only 4 fans. I mean, for a mid tower, that's fine. Typically, that's, you know, 2 intake, 1 top, 1 rear.
I would have rather seen like a couple more fans and a couple less RGB strip headers, but
yeah. So like I said, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. It's just, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But check out the review. Like I said, it's cool to see a product from Lamptron. I mean, I reviewed some of their fan hubs way back in the day, so it's cool to see something from them. So check that one out if you want. And that moves us to Case Mod Friday. And this week we have a very interesting build because it's like it's sort of like an art piece, but like it's still in a case. It's kind of different.
Yeah.
This one's called Project Jarvis, and it's from The Below. We featured some of his stuff before, and basically it's themed kind of after the Iron Man movies and kind of like the contraption that Tony Stark uses to kind of suit up. And this is kind of like a computer being suited up with, like, you know, you have a graphics card here with these robotic arms and a fan, and I think there's a sound card in this one, and it's a full functioning computer with water cooling besides that. But I think it's just it's an interesting piece, I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not the biggest fan of this type of build, but I can respect the work and time that went into the build. I thought pretty clean build inside, right? It's fully water cooled, obviously. I'm not a big fan of like the acrylic light see-through lighting stuff on there, and it looks kind of just like too branded, like some of those like cars with logos all over them, right? Like, I would have rather seen, I don't know, some little different imagery there, but it's cool, like with all those hands and arms holding components and like
I think
extra video cards and everything.
We've seen like many theme builds and many art pieces that are computers, but I think this one's kind of cool. It's like, it's obviously themed after something in a movie, but it's just different. I think it's pretty cool. You know,
well, and at first I thought that was like an extra RTX card that looks like it's being put in, but I think it's just the cooling shroud from the card that's in there, because I don't see a PCB on the back of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, wow, they got the dough to just put have an extra one to the side, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can see there's now. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool though. You can see more of the inside here. This was obviously, I think this was for the whatever Thermaltake's
their
what is
contest.
Yeah, I forget what theirs is called.
It says on the front.
Does it say on the front? I don't know.
Case Mod Invitational.
Yeah, Case Mod Invitational. That's what it's from. But yeah. See, like I initially thought this was like a screen.
But it's just a
it's just a thing. So very cool though. Different build. Definitely check it out. We have as I always say, a full section of Case Mod Friday build. So if you want to check out all that kind of stuff, you can go ahead and do that. And some other stuff we have going on this week. First, we are giving away, just like we have been, a Fractal Design Define 7, which is a case we reviewed recently. I'm sure you heard of this case.
Yeah.
It's their brand new awesome case. We're giving away the white one, which I did review, which is awesome. And yeah, just pretty easy to enter. You have 8 days left right now. Probably less than that if you're listening on audio. So definitely get in. It is US only for shipping reasons, but we definitely want to get you guys something. So definitely enter this contest. Super easy to enter there. And then one thing that I forgot to put in the show notes that I just realized, which I'll try to bring up here while we're sitting here, is that I made a video this week as well. I totally forgot about it. I forgot to put it in the notes, and now I'm just thinking about it. Is that I made a video on the Corsair A500, and which is Corsair's actually.
It's a new air cooler, right?
Yeah, I did have it sitting here because obviously I had it for the review. But it's their big, massive air cooler. And my question in the video was, let me bring to a better shot of me because if you see what's up on my screen, it's not good at all. Let me see if I can find a good place to stop the video. Here we go.
Oh yeah, like one of those still shots where
still shots where I look crazy. So that's the cooler there. It's the A500, and it was kind of it was their first air cooler in 8 years. We already had the written review done a couple of weeks ago, but I made a video because I think it was important to talk about.
It, yeah.
And I think that one, it takes aim at some of the really big names, especially Noctua with its size and everything like that, and just some of the cool things that that Corsair has done with this to make it, even though it's not the best performance as some of those other coolers, it has a lot going for it. So I want to talk about that in the video. So definitely check that out. It's on our YouTube. Really good cooler, just not the best at its price point, which is $100. So check that out as well. And we'll move on to news. And there's a decent amount of stuff, some very interesting stories this week going on. The first one, if you're an AMD stockholder, it should be a good thing, I think.
Those numbers were pretty awesome.
Yeah. So the AMD GPU shipments went up 22.6% in Q4 of 2019. So this was a quarterly report put out by John Petty Research, and AMD GPU shipments went up 22.6% in Q4 of 2019. And what was interesting about this report that they put out is that NVIDIA shipments actually went down in this time period. I think that AMD has a very good price to performance and good offering in their graphics cards, while their drivers still aren't there as far as comparing it to NVIDIA. You have, we talked about this when we reviewed the 5600 and the 5500, was that you have a card for a specific thing, and there's only one card. There's not three cards within $20 of each other that you're
confusing naming schemes, right? These, some of them are in the 1600 series and the 2000 series, and
then you have other cards cannibalizing other cards, and it's just weird. With AMD, you have the 5500, which is your esports card. You have the 5600, which is your 1080p card, and then you have the 5700 XT, which is the 1440p card. We still haven't seen the 4K card, which we think is coming soon. But in those segments, which I think is most of the market, I mean, it's pretty much all the market, you have your card, so you know what you're getting. Like if you're playing esports titles at 1080p and you just, you're trying to save a little bit of money, instead of getting the 56, you're getting the 55. If you want to play 1080p at high frame rates, you're getting the 56. If you want to play 1440p at over 60 FPS, you're doing the 5700 XT. It's easy. It's not a hard thing. So I think that's why you have this increase. 22.6% quarter to quarter. Nvidia's went down 1.9%. So you can read all this stuff. I think it's interesting. I think that a lot of people obviously are like AMD, Ryzen and all that kind of stuff and Threadripper. But on the GPU side, while they're not like blowing things out of the water, I think they're doing a good job. And I think they have products that are actually
worth buying.
worth buying and decently competitive against NVIDIA. So it's good to see that, their shipments are up that much. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty big jump. Like almost 25% is pretty amazing. And I think that'll kind of probably continue on for Q1 of 2020 as well. So yeah, cool stuff. Get some AMD stock, right?
Yeah, get that stock. So on the NVIDIA side, we have a story this week that 2 NVIDIA cards were spotted on Geekbench 5, which of course is a benchmarking program. Both of these cards aren't current cards. They can't be based on what they are. One has 118 compute units and the other one has 108 compute units. If you do some math, you times 118 and 108 by 64. That gives you the number of CUDA cores. So the one that has 118 would have 7,552 CUDA cores, and it's equipped with 24 gigabytes of memory. We don't know what type of memory this is either. It doesn't, obviously, like the benchmark doesn't tell you the type of memory. Right? Could be HBM2E, could be GDDR6. But if the score, which you can get to the scores, the score in Geekbench 5, the OpenCL test was 184,096, which would actually put it at the top of. They actually have a bench like all the cards, and it's actually beats the NVIDIA's Tesla V100 32 gigabyte, which is the highest on that test. So this has to be Ampere. That's what we've been waiting for.
Sure.
It has. I mean, what else would it be? They're not coming up with another Tesla.
And we're almost due for that. More and more info to come out on these and a release at some point, probably this year, right? So, it's got to be Ampere.
I just think that we're very close to GPU Technology Conference, which we have another story on, which we'll talk about. But that's coming up here very soon. These are out in the wild, or at least being tested. I mean,
it's that same pattern of like these little hints and notes and like generic like names and test results. So we know stuff's coming, and this I think just points directly to that.
One thing to note too is that the second card had 48 gigabytes of memory.
48. Wow.
Yeah. So obviously points to like a
workstation
enterprise card. So I think that's what this is. I think we'll see an announcement at the GPU Technology Conference, which has shifted to an online event because of coronavirus or the COVID-19. This is a big thing. I mean, this is something that's crazy. I feel that all of these events we had Mobile World Congress, we had Game Developers Conference,
GDC, yep.
Yeah, we have GPU Technology Conference, which it's kind of nice that for this event it's being switched to online, and I'll talk about that in a second.
And not just canceling it.
Yeah, not just canceled. Google I/O was canceled as well. I just heard that this morning. Yep. So all these big events. Also, like a lot of people around me are like into fitness, and they all go to the Arnold, which is like the big workout fitness show in Ohio. That was just canceled, and everybody's freaking out about that because of. I mean, I think it's just like smart. Like this could be something really horrible and bad. So
right, and it's like these things happen every year, right? As far as the shows go, right? And like you can probably get away with just not having that live event one year. Sure, some people are going to lose money, the venue or whatever. But like in a situation like this, it's just I think the smart thing to do, and I don't fault them for doing any of that, especially in today's world where technologically you can still have maybe an online presence or some sort of presentation event, whatever you want to do, and get the word out,
Yeah, so I think it's a smart thing. The GPU Technology Conference has been switched to an online event. So I think it is streamed every year, or at least the keynotes are streamed anyways. So everybody who actually bought tickets, they will be reimbursed fully, which is good. And NVIDIA CEO will still deliver his keynote, which means I think we should have an Ampere announcement, because
Cool.
if they were just I just don't see them. You would just cancel it if it wasn't.
If you're not going to announce something, right?
If you're not going to announce something big, but I could be totally wrong, and it could be like their car thingy, like they did the one year. Like we were like, oh yeah, new graphics cards, and they're like, car thing,
and you're like, all right, he's going to announce it next. And
yeah, and I was like, oh no, so yeah, so we'll I'll be watching that, and we'll get all the info. I don't know when that's supposed to happen. I don't actually have the dates on that one, but and then my thing is that I think Computex is coming up in the summer. They said so far it's still going on, but I don't know. I mean, with a lot of companies restricting travel as it is, do you think that gets canceled? Especially considering where it's at in Taipei.
Yeah. So GTC March 22nd to the 26th.
March 22nd. Yeah, so that's coming up.
But yeah, Computex, I can definitely see that.
And I already know a few people who have decided they've already decided that they're not going, because I think now is like when you're booking your accommodations and things like that. And I know that if I was going to go this year, I don't think I would. No. Just at least, things would have to settle down. Like,
I don't think I'd even want to, leave the country at all right now at this point. Just
even flying normally
and things like that have been happening or have the potential to. So
yeah, even flying normally, I think is a risk right now, especially if you're not smart as far as like washing your hands and using sanitizer and things like that. It's so online event only. We'll obviously let you guys know where you can stream that coming up, and we'll definitely give you all the details when all that happens. Talking about not leaving or not going anywhere.
Well, if you're not leaving, you might as well check out this next product.
Yeah, this next product is rather interesting. So we've seen gaming things become big. Like I'm not sitting in a gaming chair, but gaming chairs were like huge. Everybody's making a gaming chair. And then you have gaming desks. You have these desks that are with RGB lighting and all these unnecessary things. Well, this company out of Japan, they made a gaming bed, which looks like this.
I love like the Monster Energy drink and the Coke bottle and Pringles and just it's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, it's kind of funny. This is a twin bed with a bunch of accessories around it, basically. And as a kid, I think this would be awesome. Although that keyboard, I couldn't do it on the side there. That's a little odd.
It's got to like rotate around, right?
No, because
it's it almost looks like a hospital bed to me.
Kind of, yeah. It looks like a gaming hospital bed. You're very right on this one. But you have this like beanbag thing, so you can sit up straight. Apparently, you have this little shelf thing that has your monitor. I don't know where you're putting your tower. Maybe under it. Maybe. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Looks like you can fit some speakers on there. I'm assuming the bed comes with everything in this picture, but I could be wrong. You get this other little tray thing, which doesn't fully go over because there's things on the side here.
Yeah. How are you getting this keyboard in front of you?
Yeah. So this would be for your keyboard and mouse and controller. And then there's this other one over here, which has all your snacks, and it has a spot for 2 drinks.
Oh, that's not all your snacks. Look at there's the other one, and then a full like energy drink rack
cabinet. Yeah. I don't believe that comes with it, but who knows? And then on the top, or towards the top here, you have another shelf with, he has water, looks like some ramen or something. Yep. And then you have a phone holder, which will hold your gaming phone, which they showed it with an ROG phone, which is funny. And yeah, it's just like, this is what they think people are doing.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, so there's the picture of the guy using it. He's like all lounged out with his ninja mask on.
He's using a controller, which is weird.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah. I guess it's easy access to snacks.
Yes, but like, what is this? Never mind.
Yeah, it's I think if they would make a gaming bed, this is just like a company I feel that's just taking
stuff and putting it around. Yeah, like
if they're just taking advantage of like the gaming craze, right? Because it doesn't seem all that. I mean, yeah, this like top part here would be cool. More to like enjoy media than gaming, right? Like that would be, or like I just don't see that.
And it's pretty funny that it's like twin bed sized, right? So like it's just for you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little weird. It's gonna sell for over right over $1,000, or right around $1,000, which I think
for a bed, like with all these accessories, that sounds pretty cheap to me.
You think?
When you like look at bed frames and everything that goes along,
I can't imagine this bed frame's great.
Oh, I'm sure it's horrible.
Yeah, and I can't imagine these things made of particle board, which I assume they're made of.
Oh yeah.
It's great. I don't know what all comes with it, like the accessory wise. Like I don't know.
I doubt it even comes with that monitor stand.
Yeah, so that's just, I don't know. Just the whole marketing of this is like not very good, I feel. It's like,
well, when you get one into review, you let us know.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sit in this thing. I wouldn't even want to review it because I couldn't even shoot a video. I would just be laughing the whole time.
That's funny.
But yeah, the company it's called Bahoot. I don't. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, but in any case, yeah, there's a gaming bed if you want to buy one.
Cool. I like this next product though.
The next product?
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, okay. So we have a Kickstarter, and I'm typically, we get these emails all the time.
Yeah.
And typically even with this, I'm kind of weary because the couple Kickstarters that I've been a part of, like they never got made. You know what I mean?
I've had a couple successful ones, but
I've had a couple successful ones as well. But this one is for a keyboard, and it's called Everest, and it's a modular gaming keyboard, and you can see the different modular parts here of it. It looks awesome. I mean, I know these are renders.
The renders, yeah.
But it looks like a really nice keyboard. I believe it's Cherry MX switches, right?
I don't remember what they said.
Yeah.
So like, I like this design, and I think it looks good in the render. Obviously, I wish you could move that removable 10 key to the left or right side of the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Right, if they had some way for it to interface on either side.
I've seen keyboards that actually allow you to do it on both sides.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Obviously, it looks like they've got like some sort of Stream Deck knockoff on the top of the 10 key there with the. I'm sure they're screens, aren't they? Didn't they say?
Yeah, they are screens.
Yeah.
They're
and that's cool. The screen in the middle of the dial is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's obviously like, so the whole idea is that it's modular, so you can use the keyboard by itself, and then you have this attachment over here which has like 4-key Stream Deck basically, and then your number pad. Both pieces are CNC machined aluminum. You have the thumb rest, or not the thumb rest, you have your wrist rest here, and then you have this top piece which it looks like has your multimedia controls and some other stuff, and then it has this kind of like dial. I don't know if I assume it's touchscreen.
I don't know that it's touch screen, and it is a Cherry MX.
Okay. It has a dial that will show you like the weather and some other cool stuff. I think it is cool. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be cool if it was like a dial, and then you could like click it down or something like that. But
yeah, so there's two different versions of this, which is the Everest Core, which is the base keyboard, and then the Everest Max, which includes the media dock and the number pad and palm rest. Pricing
up at the top, it was saying it looked pretty cheap.
Yeah, so it's.
Do we have a link to this?
No, they didn't put it in there, which is surprising.
Okay.
But I believe, 95 euros And I think available on Kickstarter from 95. So 95 would be the base, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
about
no-
$107 for the base.
Yeah, that's not
For the bare
horrible.
bone. Yeah. For
That's not
the core.
horrible, but again, that's like,
Well, that's without switches or keycaps.
oh,
So you add in
that's
Cherry
without.
MX,
That's
and
what.
it's 111, which isn't crazy.
Oh, that's not bad. That's weird. Um,
Yeah, it's Joseph said it looked like on the render, it looked like there might be connections on the right side of the 10 key. I did see that, and I was kind of hunting around in the text to see if that was the case. Oh, it does. Okay, so it does go to the other side. They have a little animation on their page. So cool.
okay.
This is much more appealing to me now.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool. I'm still like, I think this is cool, but it's just because of everything what happened with Kickstarters and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, it's hard to trust companies on here.
Yep.
At least for me.
And I'm surprised they've only made, like, their goal was $22,000. That seems really low to me.
Yeah.
They've raised 40, which is great, but like on something like this, I would expect a goal of in the like multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The thing that scares me about products like this too is like this Everest, that's the company behind this. This Everest brand, like, you know, obviously, especially like these keys need to be controlled with software. How often is that software being updated? Like, how long is that software going to be updated if I'm using this for a couple of years? You know,
Right.
all of those things like firmware updates, like all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like when you buy from like again like the Thermaltake keyboard that we reviewed or Corsair or any of those keyboards, it's like I know that I will receive updates for this, and I know that the software will still work. You know what I mean? That's just kind of what I worry about. But I do like the design. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it looks good, and I definitely see like in the future Corsair integrating those screens and Elgato Stream Deck type buttons into their keyboards now that they're all owned by the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Company. I see that coming to the Corsair lineup pretty soon, or I would anticipate that. But this is cool. I like the concept.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's pretty cool. So, I don't know. I don't have the link in the article. I don't know why they didn't provide it with their press release.
You can just Google like
Everest
Mountain Everest keyboard, and it took me right to it.
Yeah, so definitely check that one out. And we have another couple new products this week. So EKWB or EK Water Blocks has their new water block, and I think this is pretty cool. Like I don't do any water cooling, but I kind of like what they've done with this block as far as like the little bit of customization you can do when it comes to this block. So this is their new EK Quantum Magnitude CPU water block, and I think EK is pretty well known out there. But the thing I like about this water block, again, I'm not a water cooling user, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But so like typically you have like full nickel, you have acetal, and then you have plexi. For like that's typically what you get, right? But with this new thing, you're able to change the color. Like you have what is that? I guess called like a
insert or something. But it's not that's not the O-ring or the seal, is it? That's colored.
No, I don't.
It's like an insert, I think.
Yeah, so like you're able to change, like all the colors.
So didn't SwiftTech do something like this?
I don't know.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, they had like some customizable like water blocks where you could choose just like this.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I just think it's cool that like you could match colors with builds more easily and things like that. I think that's pretty cool. I haven't seen any reviews on this yet.
It's a quantum magnitude. Yeah, I think I don't even know if anybody's reviewed it.
From what I've heard, it's expensive. It starts at $209.99 and goes to $269.99.
Yeah.
So that's decently expensive for a water block, I would say, for a CPU water block. Just the block, obviously. So like I said, I like it. I think it looks amazing, right? It's just
Yeah.
it's just pricing and
And
how
that's the other tough thing is like, okay, so I go with the green one or the blue one. Like, does that match the rest of my blue in my case? Right? I've got colored sleeves or whatever. Like,
yeah.
obviously they have a model with the digital RGB, so you can kind of adjust there. But yeah, no, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I said, like I said, I'll have to check up on reviews of this thing, but I think it's cool. It did win the design award. I think the design award, the mounting
IDF,
megas, yeah, the IF design award it's for the block mounting mechanism, so that maybe they made it easier to mount.
Okay.
So
I don't have a picture of one mounted, do they?
Yeah, no, they don't. So yeah, so like I said, check it out. Brand new, came out this past week, so cool stuff there. And then a case that we saw at CES is finally available. And I actually have one. I just got it in.
Oh, you did, huh?
Pretty excited for it.
I think it was huge.
And the thing is that they had told me that it ships, like, you have to put it together.
Yeah, we were wondering that.
But the box is huge, so I can't imagine I'm putting this whole thing together. I don't know. But FSP did announce, like, officially their T-Wings 2-in-1 high-end case. Pretty extreme design, as you can see. It's kind of crazy. But see, it's kind of separated into two sections, one on this side and then one on the opposite side. And you can fit a system in each side, or you could do like a system here, and you can see you have like these storage trays for SSDs and hard drives and things like that. I'm pretty excited to play with this.
I'm interested to see your build. Yeah, see what you do with it.
I mean, like I don't do water cooling, like, so
you should.
No, I just don't have time for that. Especially when I'm doing a review, you know what I mean? It's just like a lot of time. But we'll do something cool with it. I think it will look pretty cool. And like I said, it's in a very extreme case. I think it's $499 or $5. It's an expensive case, $499. So it's not a cheap case by any means.
And it kind of follows that line of like those cases that look like sport bikes almost, right?
Yeah, open air, kind of futuristic, transformer looking things. So yeah, so I'm excited to take a look at it, see what it's about. I'll probably do a video on it just for the fact that it's a very expensive case. Yeah, it's big. Like I said, the box is huge, but the box weighs like nothing because it's all aluminum. That's why it's so expensive. So all these pieces are all aluminum. There's no steel in this, I don't think, at all. So it's very, 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 very light and very expensive. So yeah, so excited to take a look at that. But it is official now. I'm pretty sure you guys can go buy it on Amazon or whatever it may be. And so here, our last piece of news this week is it's not even an announcement of a product. It's that two companies are teaming up together. Those two companies being Herman Miller and Logitech. And, I was like thinking, like, this is like a couple years ago. I was like Herman Miller, like, they really make amazing chairs. Like growing up, like, I was like, I want a Herman Miller chair. Like, I want the area on its $1,000 chair. Like, that's the chair to get.
Yeah.
And, and I was like, this gaming thing is like huge. Like everybody had a gaming chair. I was like, Herman Miller's just doesn't care,
Well, I mean, it's like, it's not their thing.
Yeah, it's not. And it's really not. So I think it's smart for them to team up with a gaming brand, being Logitech, to come out with, I guess, a gaming chair that has Herman Miller DNA in it, but it's like a Logitech.
And I think Logitech is like the perfect choice, because the Logitech is like a name where in the business world, like, somebody's going to know the word Logitech from a keyboard or a mouse, right? Like in a business setting, like a lot of times people, if they're buying a new keyboard or something, right, they're going to order it and they're going to get a Logitech or something similar. It's not like just a gaming focused brand, right? They've got their consumer line, they've got a gaming line, and they're just big enough. And I think that's a good pairing.
I think that Logitech also isn't a company that makes OEM products. OEM meaning that every gaming chair that we've looked at is an OEM, meaning that it's made in the same factory, and then just a company's name is just slapped on it, and that's fine. Like we even see like keyboards and mice being made that way, but for like all of the gaming chairs that we reviewed, for the most part, they're all the same. One might have a little bit more cushion or something, but they're all OEM. Like they're not specifically made and designed by that company that's names on it. So with this is obviously going to be designed. The two companies working together to design a chair. So I was like, are we going to see $1,000, $1,500 gaming chair? You think?
I don't know. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, they said.
There's people that spend thousands of dollars on the PC, so and their room setup and everything else. So
yeah.
I just think that's pretty slim for a market.
I think they said March or April. They said that they're working with the Logitech sponsored teams, Complexity, TSM, Navi, and others to like talk about like what they want in a gaming chair. So I think it's going to be actually things that we need, not just like a racing chair turning.
It also might be a while too, right? If they're taking in all this input and designing something from the ground up, or yeah. So very interesting. I'm actually excited to see what that might be. I kind of switched out of the gaming chair. I don't, you guys can't see, but like I have this ergonomic chair, which I like 10 times more than a gaming chair. So yeah, but like I said, interesting to see. I think that it will be, like I said, it'll be, I think we're going to see one of the most expensive gaming chairs out there, but then they could make it affordable as well. Because again, I know gamers like drop a lot of money on hardware, but like, are they really going to drop that much money on a chair too? Right. I don't know.
Yeah. But that is our news for the week. We are going to talk about what we have coming up next week. I am still working on this little motherboard, which you can actually see right there behind me a little bit.
Yep.
That is the ASRock X570 Phantom Gaming ITX Thunderbolt 3. Very cool mini ITX X570. It's just awesome. It's just an awesome little board. So I'll be telling you guys a little bit about that, and then you'll be taking a look at a case which I know nothing about, which is the Silverstone. I don't
know if it's SATA or SETA.
SETA. I think it's SETA.
SETA A1, yeah. So just kind of a mid tower with a nice aluminum front to it. Comes with two 200 millimeter fans up front.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So nice, spin slope. I haven't looked it up actually. It's not too terrible though. I do know that. Tempered glass. $29.99
or $125. Sorry.
Comes with a 120 millimeter in the back. And some RGB lighting kind of above and below that aluminum facade there. So yeah, just kind of cool. I mean, it's really a pretty standard like case design and layout with a little different front. Obviously, the 200 millimeter fans up front is kind of unique. Has the ability for vertical GPUs. You can kind of see there. Doesn't come with the mount or anything, but has the ability to support that. Yeah.
Cool.
So
I'm
taking a look.
To,
it has USB Type-C, which I'm always a fan of, especially on I don't want to call it a lower end case, but just like more. You wouldn't maybe expect it on a case like this.
I think that is
finally
maybe
here.
This year will become standard. We'll see, or like at least semi-standard.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, like phones, and there's still not a ton of, or at least from my perspective, I haven't seen a ton of like Type-C flash drives. Some of them will have like multiple connections on them, right? Yeah. Where they're like a convertible type key, but I think we're going to get closer and closer to that.
Yeah, hopefully that becomes the thing by the end of the year. Maybe not on like a $60 or $70 case, but like like your typical like brands that like
because I mean that connector for the motherboard and the cable and everything, like it can add a significant amount to the cost of a case to put that connection in there.
Don't ever put that in backwards.
Nope,
your computer won't start. And
I know.
I found that out, and
it's keyed, like. But
it's not though.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I connected it, and then my computer would not start, and I couldn't figure it out for like 3 hours. And I was like, "What is going on?" Yeah. But in any case, we'll have that, and then next week we also on next Thursday, Ryan and I will be on the Home Gadget Geeks podcast
again.
We tried to be on.
Was a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. there was some technical difficulties there, but we will hopefully be on with them. We have the link in our show notes to it's just homegadgetgeeks.com.
No, theaverageguy.tv/live.
Yeah, theaverageguy.tv/live. Obviously, that's the link you want to go to on next Thursday. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Central, which is 9 p.m. my. That's going to be a late night for me. 9 p.m. my time. Late night, man. I'm an old guy.
Oh, yeah.
But we will be on that. We're really excited to be on their podcast again, so I'm pretty pumped for that. And that's about it, I think. Did you? We always talk about if we did anything cool, saw anything cool.
I mean, I've been kind of like trying to clean up my room. I say that all the time, and I never really like. It feels like I get there, but I bought some like screen protectors for my camera. I hadn't gotten one, and I bought like a 3-pack of glass protectors for my camera. And like, what sucks is like it went on super easy, right? But now I can't. Bubble? No, I don't have a bubble.
Okay.
Nope, no bubbles. Okay. But like, I can't. It closes, but then it doesn't like click into place now.
That's interesting. Because yours is different.
Yeah.
So those glass protectors make a difference because I trashed my camera. Like I dropped it hard, and the only thing that was cracked was my screen protector, not the actual screen.
Yeah, and I've been trying to like take it out more. Like when we go out with the kids and like go to the park or something, I usually try and just like throw my bag on and carry this thing with me. And I typically use it with the screen showing.
Okay, yeah.
And so like it's bouncing around, and like it's been wintertime, obviously. So like the screen rubbing up against zippers, and I was like, I need to get.
Any type of photography equipment that I have, even this. Let me grab it real quick. But so like I have this, which is like the DJI Osmo Action, and I have a screen protector on this, and this glass is supposed to be like, because it's an action camera, it's supposed to be like, but I still have a screen protector on it, like just because. So I always put screen protectors on any type of photography equipment because if
I don't even do it for like my phone. I don't ever put a.
I never put one on my phone.
But yeah, a pack of 3 of these was $7.99.
Yeah, I think that's what for my camera, a pack, like a 3-pack or 2-pack was like $7 or $8. So
yet when like you put one on your phone, they're like, oh, these are $50.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, that wire phone case is $50.
Oh,
it's a piece of silicone or whatever.
I don't buy those.
It's just because people are. I mean, you got to pay for it. Like you need a. I don't care who you are. You need a case for your phone. Like
I used to like be one of those people that didn't. Well, it depended on the phone. I had like a Motorola like Droid Turbo, I think, and it had like this Kevlar back to it that I really loved, and I ran that without a case for a couple of years. But
I just can't do it.
Well, the phones are so slippery now, right? Like,
well, the thing is, and they're all glass. Like the front and back of, I believe the front and back of or maybe not this one, but the previous iPhone, like the iPhone 6, like the front and back are glass. So if you drop it, it's breaking. So yeah. But yeah, I haven't done anything. I've been testing stuff. I have been looking for a new place to live, and I think that there's no good website. So anybody
like rentals or like
apartments? Like there's just like, I mean, like obviously there's like the normals like apartments.com and all this stuff, and like, but there's no good website that like gives you all the info that you need. And a lot of these like big buildings here that are like, managed, like these management companies have horrible websites.
That's
I'm almost like, how are you in business? But that's like again, like we want something that's instantly accessed, like on my phone, be able to do it, and there's just not. So that's what I've been dealing with this week, is like scouring Craigslist looking for places, which is never fun. So, and just when I got this nice setup and everything, I have to break it down again, and I'll have to break it down again. Well, we'll talk about that another time. But what are we gaming? Yeah. So we will be gaming here. I guess we're doing Apex. Yeah.
Yep, we got to find a third. I had one, but life happens. Stuff came up.
Well, if anybody,
but I had a fourth, so I will see if they're available now. I told them to sit on the bench We'll get you in if we can.
Well, hop in our Discord if you want to play Apex with us. But we'll be over at twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. But that is it for this week, guys. As I always say, on your favorite podcasting app or website, it is just Think Computers, all one word. So until next week, we'll catch you guys later.